Okay, we'll get started. Hello and welcome to Get Your Shit Together. My name is Megan Reed and I will be your host today. Grab a pen, grab some paper, buckle up because it is going to be a wild ride. We have a lot of things to cover, and I am so ecstatic that you are here to gain all this valuable information that I have to share. It's really going to be life-changing. That's all I have to say. So if you're new here, most of you know me, but if you're new, just a little bit about me. My name is Megan. I said that already. I'm 37, single mom. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, so they keep me nice and busy. And I'm in the relative Pittsburgh area. I'm a marketing director for a consulting company by day, and then I own the Sweet Escape events in my spare time. This is a wellness brand that promotes people and encourages people to have more passion, purposeful, and productive lives. So that's what we're here to do today. If you have been in any of my containers or any of my workshops, you will get the irony, especially my dear friend Sammy D is why I wanted her on this call, because I do not have my shit together. So caveat, that's the first lesson. If you want to jot that down, nobody has their shit together. So there's that. If anybody has their shit together, feel free to raise your hand and tell us how you did it, because I know that I'm going to give you advice on how to do it, but let's be honest, we're just going to do the best we can with what we have. As you know, this is recorded. A little bit of housekeeping. This is a discussion. Chime in at any time. Would love to hear your contributions, your feedback. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Julio. Drop the landing page. That's going to give you some more information about some other upcoming things. If anybody wants to check that out in the chat, that will be sent out afterwards as well. I'd also like to share a disclaimer. Nothing that you hear on today's workshop is going to be anything that you can't get from a Instagram post or article, blog that you find. But I do truly believe that if you are in the right place at the right time and you hear something from the right person, everything just comes together and clicks. I think that we've probably all experienced that. Just that kernel of truth, a little nugget, that seed that's planted and just takes you to the next level. And even if nothing profound comes out of this call, I do hope that something is ignited within you, that you see something later today or later in the week that just adds and builds, because that is so exciting and fun to me. When it all comes together in that way, those synchronicities. Okay. Yeah, so this is all about growth mindset, what we want to cultivate to bring together. A little bit about my qualifications. I'm going to do a post soon, so you guys can, turn your notifications on because it's coming. It's going to be all about imposter syndrome. So I'm getting ready to lead this workshop. I have done a container last year for about 6 months. I just did a 10-week training. I'm getting ready to do another 10-week training. And then I have this really cool course coming up in the summer that I'm excited for. I'll give you all the information about that at the end of the call. And as I'm planning all these things, I'm like, oh my gosh, why am I doing this? The self-doubt, the negative self-talk creeps in. Like, who am I to think that I can lead these things? And so, I constantly have to reassure myself, you have been doing the work for the past 5 years. You have been on this insane healing journey, this self-discovery, bringing awareness to who you are, why you are the way you are, what makes you this way. I have my education is in public relations and advertising. And to me, that is all about human behavior. That's where my heart is. I love seeing people learn and develop. And I've been a college professor. I love 20-year-olds. I love teaching. I love, we've done public speaking, I've done design courses. So I keep having to remind myself, you are qualified, you are able to do this, people are getting value from this. So whatever it is, I want you guys to start thinking about what it is that you want out of life, what it is that you want to do. And the steps that we're going to go into, this is actually a really great transition into our beautiful 3 steps on how to get your shit together. So as we transition into that, we want to start thinking about what it is that we want. All right. Anybody, questions, comments, concerns before we get into the meat of the workshop today? Give me a couple seconds. Feel free to unmute, jump in the chat, raise your hand. Okay. Oh, Julio. What do you have to say?
Love the energy. Love the energy.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Ashley's ready to roll. Let's do it. Okay. Thank you so much for that feedback. Okay. So step number 1, is awaken your awareness. So this has been the most profound subject topic epiphany to me, just becoming more and more aware. So I would never have said in my life that I've ever not been aware, right? I'm very hypersensitive, hypervigilant, like notice things going on around me at all times, very empathetic. I pick up a lot of emotions from people, very intuitive in that way. So I would never say that I am not aware, but there has like the past few years of my life have been this significant shift in my awareness, in this inner, like deeper down. I've been doing a ton of work. I've been in therapy for 5 years. I've done EMDR therapy twice a week for 12 months, very intense therapy, reading all the books, listening to all the audiobooks, podcasts, all the things, reading all the Instagram posts. That is let's be honest, where I get most of my education is from Instagram. So just if you've had this revelation or this turning point, if there's something significant that happened in your life, a breaking point or a breakthrough, raise your hand. Let me hear about it. Throw it in the chat. Just say yes or no. You don't have to tell me all your deep, dark secrets on this call with a bunch of strangers. But there's also the slower growth to awareness, just like you just start picking it up. Maybe it's not as significant or as noticeable that you have this, new awareness, this like new understanding. But that's what it's going to take. The first step in getting your shit together, just bringing that awareness and putting in that time and saying like, oh, there is something that I need to be working on. There's more to this. It's not just about like getting from A to B or going through the motions and living in survival mode. I truly feel that the majority of people out there are just like, you're just checking off the box. I wake up in the morning, I go to my job, I come home, I make food, I clean the house and, get on with my life. I might have a vacation or something fun to look forward to, but you're just going about your day, getting on to the next thing. But when you stop and start to ask yourself, like, why am I doing this? Why do I want to do this? What is it that I want to do? And I know for a fact that everybody on this call has that feeling. And I would say you're in the top 10% of people. I would say the rest of the world is just like going through the day, spinning their wheels, running on the hamster wheel, going through life. But you're here because you know that there's something more to it, that you have something inside of you that you're like, I am supposed to be doing something, whether it's going to help people, whether it's going to change the world, whether it's going to change the trajectory of my bloodline, whatever it is, like you have this passion, you have this purpose, and you want to be productive towards it. You want to learn more about yourself. You want to learn from other people. So hopefully that you will get something out of this. So also what comes to mind with this awareness is being able to let things go. That was huge for me. Again, Sam knows my whole life. So she knows all these containers. She knows all these messages. It's like, what is affecting you that you need to let go? So that brings us to bullet point number 2. And this is to blow up the block, baby. What is blocking you? What is holding you back? What are those subconscious things that you might not even be aware of? Coming back to step number 1, bringing that awareness. So once you start doing this work, once you start getting to know yourself better, defining what it is that you want, really taking time to think about that. There are a ton of resources out there to think about what you think about, to start really cultivating ideas of what you want out of life. So this is not the workshop where we're going to say, okay, what is it that you want? This is the workshop that's going to spark your interest into saying, I need to spend some time on this. I need to mark off an hour on my calendar and I need to define what it is that I want. That's in our awareness step. And for me, like I have this extremely clear vision. And I would love to talk offline about that if anybody is interested, but I have a top 10 list. I love top 10 lists of all of the things that I want out of life. Very specific, very detailed, but the way that I work is like I shoot for the moon. If I land among the stars, then I'm still successful. So I'm very flexible in this vision that I want, but I have these 10 specific areas that I have defined. So taking that time and doing that, and that doesn't mean that it can't change. That doesn't mean you can't pivot. That doesn't mean that you are a failure if they don't come true, but it gives you something to strive towards specifically. Otherwise, we're just floating through space, right? We're just saying, what's next on the list? What do I need to get done today? So once you start to bring that awareness, we're going to blow up the blocks. So there's always the obvious ones, for me, let me see what I wrote down. Anxiety. My parents sucked, and a little bit of ADD. So, does somebody off mute? Anybody want to contribute to this? Sorry, I thought I heard something. So those ones are like, okay, yeah, whatever, right? But take it back a step, take it down to the core, so we're not victims here. We're not making excuses. We're not blaming other people, because we're all adults here. And we know that our lives depend on us. Our success depends on our mindset and our actions. Nobody can do it for you. Nobody can decide for you. Nobody can tell you what you need to do. Nobody can tell you what you want out of life. So you need to take those steps to really get down into your gut, into your belly, and say, what is it that's holding me back? What are my core beliefs? What are my core wounds? What made me this way? What made me think this way? And why do I procrastinate? Why can I not get my to-do list done? Is there too many things on it? Is it not in alignment with what I am supposed to be doing or what I need to be doing? So again, just really taking that time to get inside of your own body and brain, doing even physical activity, somatic movement, things along those lines to get through your body, because your body holds so much. It holds all of your memories, all of your traumas, all of your past issues, all of your happiness, and all of your joy. So really start moving through those things. The pillars in the Sweet Escape are mindfulness, movement, and motivation. So all of my workshops try to incorporate those three things. So doing a little bit of movement in your body, seeking out motivational things that are going to inspire you, that are going to help you bring that awareness, and being mindful, obviously. Okay, I'm going to take a pause here. I want to see what you guys have to say so far as I check on my notes, make sure I'm saying all the things I want to say. I'm not going to talk again until somebody else contributes, so we might be here for a while. Anyone? All right. Debbie, that's my girl.
I knew you were gonna say something to me.
Love you.
I'm at work. I self-sabotage a lot, so that's the issue. I hold myself back in general.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the worst. But that's really it. I don't know. I still live with my mom, so it's still like a day-to-day struggle.
Yeah. I was gonna say struggle is real. Yeah.
I don't know. I self-sabotage a lot. I also have a lot of imposter syndrome. I try to get out of my self-doubt and stuff like that, but it's still there. So yeah.
Yes. Wonderful. I think that all of us can relate to that. Self-sabotage for sure, and imposter syndrome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Julio.
I have to keep reminding myself that done is better than perfect.
Yeah.
Put a lot on myself to make everything perfect, whether it's through music, through the work that I do in my day job. I have to keep reminding myself that done is better than perfect, and don't pussyfoot around. Just move forward. Just keep moving forward, because it's the only way to grow.
Definitely that perfectionism can hold us back. And again, discovering where that came from in our core, in our childhood, growing up, what was it that made us so attached to that perfectionism, so afraid to move forward, doing something not perfect, instead of just owning it and going with it and hope, winging it. We want it to be beautiful, and we don't want the world to see us make mistakes. But I don't believe in mistakes. I just believe in lessons. We've all heard that adage, that cliche. Yeah, so that's a good reminder. That self-talk, it's all about what you're saying to yourself, thinking about what you're thinking about, catching yourself. There's so many times that since you get to this enlightenment, this like side of awareness that you're like, oh, where did that thought come from? How many times in your life have you had those subconscious thoughts that you were just totally oblivious to? They're just in the back of your mind, just running the show, and you have no idea that they're in there, that they're going on behind the scenes. So once you start hearing them, once you start understanding them, then you can change them. Then you can do something about it. But until then, they're just gonna take over your life. Anybody else want to contribute before we move on? Last chance. Okay. All right. And then bullet point number 3 is cultivate your calling. So this is really about creating the action plan. So we're going to bring awareness. We're going to blow up the blocks, and then we're going to cultivate our calling. Oh my gosh. It's like the ABCs of getting your shit together. Wow. Didn't even realize I did that. Just kidding. All right. So cultivating our calling. You might not wake up with your specific vision, your passion and purpose, and know what you need to do. Like there's so many times we're going to be spinning our wheels. We're going to be trying to figure out, what you need to do next. There's so many times I walk around my house and I have like all these like projects that I need to do. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a little bit here and do a little bit there, which is like, hopefully it all gets done and comes together some way, somehow. But when you make a plan and you're like, okay, this is what I need to do, then it makes your life so much easier. If you enjoy making lists, which I know Sammy does, I might make a list or two in my days. But they're going to help you stay on track to what you need to do. And again, be flexible, give yourself grace, go with the flow. Allow yourself to pivot, allow yourself not to be perfect. Don't beat yourself up if you don't get everything done on your to-do list. Decide what you need to do. Yes, Catherine loves making lists as well. But once you get the awareness and you get those blocks out of the way, then deciding what it is that you want, what lights your soul on fire, what can you do every day to move the needle, to keep working towards those things that you want out of life. And again, nothing I say is going to be profound and extraordinary and wonderful and amazing. I'm just here to repeat all of the things that I've learned that I love. It's literally, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. I loved this one like caption I saw one time that was, this woman was like, I love party planning, but the party's like, okay, that was cool. And I was like, that makes so much sense. Like, I love the anticipation. I love getting the theme, getting the scheme together, getting all of the favors and the decorations and like playing with the ideas. And then when you have a party, you're like, this is so great. Everybody's enjoying themselves. Everything looks beautiful. The food's wonderful. And then it's over and you're like, well, okay, now what? But that whole like 6 months that you spent planning and preparing, like what if you applied that to your life? You're like, okay, great. I got the house. I got the job. I got the boat. I got the relationship. I went on the vacation, and then you have it. And you're like, this is great. And I'm grateful for it. I'm going to continue. But that work that you put into and the fun that you had thinking about how cool it would be, like, just imagine if we didn't gloss over that part of life. What if we really just were like, oh, this is fun. Like, I get to play with this in my brain. I get to like make lists. I get to plan, and just really enjoying what you're doing while you're working towards what you want. So finding that contentment, finding that satisfaction right where you are with what you have, doing the best with what you have at any given moment. So that to me is what life is really about. So yeah, Julia said, big things start with small beginnings. Yes, Catherine, such a great reminder rather than waiting for the next thing. So true, because I mean, that can just consume us, that we're like, we're not where we're supposed to be. We want more, right? That's human nature. And I think, to that point, we also get a lot of guilt and shame for wanting more. And I am a huge advocate and I give you all permission to want, but I also don't want you to be miserable or stuck with where you're at, whether that's in a location or a mindset, somewhere physical, somewhere mental, emotional. It's very important to acknowledge your dissatisfaction. We're not toxic positivity. We're not, stuffing down our feelings. We are addressing all of the things, the good, the bad, the ugly. And hopefully at the end of the day, it comes out to be something beautiful. So that's what we're working towards here. Awakening that awareness, blowing up the blocks, and really getting a deep dive into ourselves and cultivating our calling and creating our action plan. Okay, thoughts, questions, comments, concerns? Yeah, that's hard. What do you mean? I just gave you the ABCs. It's not that hard. You just do all the things and it's fine. Yes, it is. It is a lifelong journey. Yes, Catherine.
Hi, I just put my face.
Welcome.
Yeah, I think it's just so difficult, right? Like as things come at you in daily life that you're like, okay, I'm like on this path. Like if all things are aligned and you're like, I got this, I'm moving towards the things, I'm just gonna like have fun while I do everything. And then like you hit a roadblock. And I feel like that shifts your whole mindset. So like somehow to have a hack to hop back into that like happy space again. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that makes total sense. And sometimes you have to spend more time. And that's my other like favorite saying is like everything takes longer than you think it should. If you're like, okay, I'm just gonna like take an hour, months to think about what it is I want out of life, and you're like, oh, that took 6 months. What the hell's going on? Then yeah,
your time.
Yep, I agree. I totally agree. Yeah, you just keep doing all the things, enjoying that journey, and knowing that the difficulties and the challenges are part of the process too. And the setbacks and the mind fucks of just being like, what is going on? Like, I am doing all of the things that I need to be doing to get to where I want to be, and nothing is coming together. But, often reminding yourself that the challenges make the reward so much sweeter. And when you get to that point, knowing that you're not going to be stuck where you're at forever, like there's just no way. There's no way you're going to be 30 years from now, be stuck in the same place. So taking that time to figure it out and embracing where you are. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Knowing that it's not as easy as checking the boxes. Good. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. What did Dan say? Joy is in the doing what we are fashioned to do. Oh, Matthew McConaughey. Very good. Oops, did I mess something up? Okay. Awesome. All right. So that is what I have. Oh, sorry, another message. Okay. Perfect. If you have any other things to contribute, please please jump in at any time. Before we get to the last section, I did want to share a few things that we have coming up. So trying to keep this short and sweet, getting through those few things for you. As I mentioned at the beginning of the call, I just wrapped up a 10-week program called Goal Getters. So next Tuesday, 1 week from today, April 2nd, we are launching Goal Getters 2.0. It's going to be a very similar timeline of the last workshops that I did. Very similar to this. We do a lesson, we do a little bit more contribution, participation, specifics. So like I said, in this call, we didn't get like very specific on what it was that we wanted out of life, and that we'd really do the work as a group to hold each other accountable, to work through those blocks, to cultivate the calling and the action plan for what we're doing there. So if that's of interest to you, if you want to be in those group calls, let me know. I have the availability up on Eventbrite. You can sign up there, DM me, let's chat about it. I also have some capacity in the near future to do some one-on-ones. So if it is something that you need more specific, I know for me, I need somebody to be like, Megan, did you Did you do the thing you said you were going to do? It is so helpful for me just to be able to speak it out loud, to know that somebody is there. They don't, whether they care or not that I did it, if it's not like for a boss or something along those lines, then if they're just like, I'm here to support you. If you need that person, have a very specific outline of what that's going to look like if you want the one-on-one training. And then this summer, this is still coming together, but I wanted to give, if this piques your interest, keep an eye out. We're going to be doing a business and branding boot camp. It's going to be a 5-week in-person session. We're offering 2 of those in the Pittsburgh area. So that's going to be really cool. It's going to help you create, if you have a calling, if you have an action plan, if you have that passion and purpose, you know what it is that you want to do. And you're like, okay, how do I get this done? This is that next step. This is a workshop that we're going to be coming together for 4 hours every week, creating your website, creating your social media strategy, talking about branding and public speaking and putting yourself out there, having a lot of different speakers coming in to help with that. So that's going to be a really fun project that we have coming up. And then we're going to have a one-off pop-up. I am working with Emily from West Raspberry. So the date is still coming together on that. And that's going to be all the pretty things, a little precursor, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, precursor to the business and branding boot camp, and also have some of this information in there as well. So that is a little bit about what's going on. Tell me about what's going on with you guys. Anybody else want to contribute anything before we hop off here? Any final thoughts, words? Yeah, let's hear what you have to say. So many people. All right, I'm gonna call on you guys if we have no contributions. Just one more time. Let's hear what you have to say. Mandy, Amanda, Jody, Ashley. All right. I won't make you suffer. Thank you all for coming on. I would love to hear your feedback after this. Jump in my DMs. Thank you for being here. And I look forward to seeing you all in the future. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Bye.